in 2008 in 2 theaters. No publicity. Somehow in 2 years, it turned into a cult phenomenon. Thanks to many of you here in the audience today, the fans. Please welcome to the stage the team from Repo, the Genetic Opera.
And I just have to say that the college musical theater freshman goth that I once was is freaking the fuck out that I get to do this right now. And the 36-year-old version of me is also pretty excited. So to kick things off, everyone, Repo has one of the most unique origin stories, especially for a musical. Usually movie musicals are adaptations of things that are massive hits on Broadway, but Repo had a very different journey. So I would love if you could give the audience a little taste of how the hell this very weird, beautiful baby came to be.
Well, geez, I didn't know there's gonna be so many people.
They want you to why don't you introduce yourself to who you are?
Darren Smith, co-writer of Repo. To answer this question, Terrance will chime in here, but we were doing 10-minute operas together through rock clubs and acting things out, just it was crazy. Like I had my pimp suit and was doing Kit Kat Club. Anyway, one of our 10-minute operas was The Nectar Merchant's Debt, and people loved it. And we're like, maybe we could put this on as a stage show. So we booked the place, and then we realized we've only written half of it. So we had to get the second half together before we did our first production. That was back in 2002.
And part of the reason the second act wasn't written at the time is, as Darren said, we were booking kind of nightclubs, small little places in Los Angeles, and oftentimes you'd have an hour if you were lucky as a set. So we started off by doing 3 10-minute operas and a cover song, and that was kind of our set. And as Darren said, one of the 10-minute operas became Repo. And from my perspective, Darren was sort of like the one-man band. He looked like a Dr. Seuss character. There was instruments everywhere. He was stepping on samplers and capturing music live. And that was part of what became the industrial sound of Repo Wildly. But from my standpoint, I was sort of like, he was the one-man band, I was like the one-man cast. And so I would do these characters. They were all sort of narratorial driven, including Grave Robber. And so, that one really stuck. And I think both because people responded to it, but also because I think it was the most natural to our personalities. It was a commentary that we didn't know at the time on what the world was going to become. And it concluded usually, or at least the point of sort of like the initiation, the trial by fire, was I'd get really soft and be singing about the future and industrialization and all this. And I belt grapes as loud as I could, and you'd watch half the room leave, and the other half would lean in. Thank you for leaning in.
And so, during the Bousman, how did you get roped into this world?
I majored in theater in college, and I thought that
you sound like me. Not a lot of us do.
Well, I thought that I was going to come out here and I literally was just going to direct musicals and rock operas. I mean, I grew up in Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's such a defining thing in my life. And Jesus Christ Superstar and Tommy. And that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to do something that was flamboyant and over the top and subversive. And so I come out to Hollywood and I say that out loud and I get laughed at and beat up. I'm like, and we had met I had met a guy, Joe Majestic. Remember that guy? And he said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to make musicals. And he literally turns around and puts like this, it's called a libretto, but it was like a 40 or 50 page document in front of me. And he goes, I have a musical for you. And it had like a 3-song sampler on it. And I called the number on the back of the sampler. And it was these two guys. And then we met for coffee. And I mean, I don't know what you guys thought. I mean, I was just kind of crazy, being like, you guys should hire me. Are you doing this? Let's just hire me. Come on, let's just go do this thing. And
Biggest mistake of our lives. No, but in all seriousness, I remember sitting down, and we were much younger then, and we were all passionate about this thing, and he came in and with a straight face was like, I love musicals. It's why I came to LA. And everyone else, I think, was trying to say what we wanted to hear, you know? And we just got, no, this guy's a full-on nerd. He actually loves it, like we do. And we've been friends and collaborators ever since.
I think we've known each other now going on 30 years, and I still think that some of the most, some of the best memories of Hollywood, or the entire process, was we had this theater on Hollywood Boulevard. And I mean, we should have been arrested, at least. I mean, we were selling booze. It was like we were like a speakeasy. Moonshine was being sold out of the back, and we had a bathroom that I don't know how we choreographed this. I guess it's my fault as the director. It was behind the stage, so we would get people fucking hammered, and then the show was long. It was like 2 hours, and people were going to the restroom as they were singing. So Terrance, it's my job to steal and rob. Excuse me, I gotta piss. And they were just walking.
So we ended up working that into the show. So just like in the movie, the play would sort of start off with a repossession. And we had our stage manager who would double as the first victim. And so because the back room was behind the stage, people were on the stage looking lost, looking confused. She acted like one of them. And then Repo Man would come out and slam her on the floor. The lights would go out, red light would come on, cue the music, and welcome to the world of Repo.
What was punk rock about it is, so we're on Hollywood Boulevard, but there was no team of people. There was a handful of us. And I remember there was a display case out front, and Terrance said, we gotta put something in the display case, and we had foot traffic. And I remember going to the butcher shop, and you guys were buying like real pig hearts and brains and blood, and the smell by like 9 o'clock at night, we were walking the fucking theater. But the point was being, at the end of every night,
So I was actually a documentary.
Yeah. But how geeky we were. At the end of the show, I remember Terrance, you, myself, and John, who played our Roddy, would be on the Hollywood Boulevard belting out, kind of intoxicated, Jesus Christ Superstar. And people would be just, what the fuck is wrong with these guys? So I think we were all just theater kids that loved it.
I love that so much. And obviously then you go on to make little movies like the Saw franchise in order to be able to bring this to life. So I would love to know what the process was like of being able to transform this from the stage show into something that is so distinctly cinematic with such an intentional aesthetic that like literally nothing else that has ever been made looks like Repo. Nothing at all. So what was that journey like for you?
I think when we parted ways, when Darren, Terrance, and I think that we stayed in touch. I went and saw the Repo continued after I left. I think there was 2 or 3 other incarnations. Terrance directed one. You did the off-Broadway one, Terrance, is that right? Yeah. And I flew out for that. And I remember Laura, my wife, who's here somewhere. We were in New York, and I remember when I left my time directing it, I said to them as I go by, if I ever make it as a director, I'm going to come back and do this as a movie. And I think they both were like, yeah, go fuck yourself. We'll never see this guy again. And then I followed the show as it went on. Some of them were better than others. I had my favorite Repo men from the shows that I saw of yours, but I always kept going back to the music is fucking cool. Like the music was just always so fucking cool. Laura and I went to New York, and I remember going to her, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go make this as a movie. And I met with Terrance and I was like, I think we should go make this as a movie. And at that point I had 2 of the Saw films underneath my belt. And then I blackmailed Lionsgate, who's somewhere out there. The photos still exist on my hard drive, so don't fuck with me. Yeah.
This is like rotting, seeing the boy, the kids being blackmailed with their
The
pictures.
pictures, yeah. Speaking of the Largos, Bill Moseley, everyone. Bill might have been the first audition, and I think Spooky Dan is here somewhere. Dan, did we put his audition on the disc? Okay, so Bill comes in. He auditioned originally with Night Surgeon, and it's pretty fucking awesome. You can see it if you buy the 4K. Bill, I didn't tell you that. Your audition's on the 4K. That's okay.
Oh, hey, do I get a microphone? Fuck. I'm the smartest and the toughest.
What will you do with the hole?
If there ain't one, I will make one. I got my knife right here. But anyway, yes, the audition was great. Fortunately, I remember the night of the audition. It was at Tashiki's? Yoshiki. I know it was somebody. It was Iki. I got that part. But it was Yoshiki's in North Hollywood. He had a very cool studio. And I followed one of the Pussycat Dolls, I think. And and I was up in the booth looking down with Darren and Terrance and Darren and Joe Bishara, the great Joe Bishara. And we were looking down, and one of the Pussycat Dolls was singing, I guess, an Amber part or something, and she was really doing a great job. She was Las Vegas all the way. She was kicking her legs up, and just doing all this stuff, and I'm thinking, I am fucked. That's it for me. But then they said, okay, Bill, you're next. And I was like, But so I went down. I remember going down, and I was thinking, oh, geez, here we go. Put on the little cans, and and got in front of the mic and just did a little warm up. And my God, I sounded great. And I really, to this day, if it weren't for that wonderful golden microphone, I mean, it was amazing. I was like, hello. And I was like, wow, that's great. It was almost like I was in the shower. Like,
Hey, Bill, do not forget they're going to see your audition, so you might want to.
Well, I'm saying that's how it felt. Maybe there's maybe a little different perception. But I belted it out, and I had a great time doing it. And when I was finished, I looked up in the window where all these guys were just silhouettes, but I saw a lot of thumbs up, and so I thought, okay, well at least I got through. It wasn't a thumb, it was a, get him out of here. Who let that guy in here? Yes, but I had it was great. And then the wonderful thing was that Darren offered me the choice of Javi or Luigi. And I, at that point, was a veteran already of a lot of makeup, like chop top. And so I thought, okay, let's see. If I do Javi, I'm going to have to do a lot of makeup. Luigi, is a badass, but very little makeup except for a few scars on the chest. And so I just thought, I think I'll go with Luigi. Which is great because, of course, then Javi is turned over to the great ogre.
Okay, awesome. All right, I have a long intro that I can't remember, so please excuse me while I wait for my phone. Yeah, I'm sure you all look beautiful in the dark. Thank you. All right, greetings, scalpel sluts, pre-ops, and future organ donors. I am October, one of the co-directors of the Shadowcast's surgical sampler tonight, or rather today. And with me is my co-director, Caleb. And my wonderful cast, and we are addicted to life. And soon you will be too. Thank you all for coming today to experience our show, which is a very special show, because it is here at Midsummer Screen. Honestly, we have been really lucky lately to have been part of some amazing opportunities. We performed last November for the 17-year anniversary for our biggest audience up until now. And in March, we were recorded and are going to be included in the 4K re-release. Which, by the way, oh my fucking god, when Darren called me on Instagram being like, hey, is this October? I'm like, yes, is this Darren? He's like, yeah, so we're thinking about recording a shadow cast. Is your cast available to do that? I'm like, yeah, I think they'd be down. Totally chill until I hung up. And then I freaked out a lot. So now we're here in front of all of you, and we're going to mix it up a bit with a few select scenes and perform along with some discussions in between every scene. We're going to give you 5 scenes just as a little sampler to give you a taste, and then you have to come and see us perform at a theater probably sometime in November. We're still working on getting our show scheduled. So we'll post our socials for you to find us and follow us, and then you will know when our next show is.
Sometimes I wonder why they need me at all. Citrate comes in a little glass vial. A little glass vial. And a little glass vial goes into the gun like a battery. And the citrate gun goes somewhere against your anatomy. And when the gun goes off, it sparks and you're ready for surgery. Surgery.
Sometimes I wonder why I even bother. Grave robber. Sometimes I wonder why I need you at all.
And Emma Sweet is addicted to the knife.
Addicted to the knife, addicted to the knife.
And addicted to the knife, she needs a little help with the agony.
Agony.
And a little help comes in a little glass vial and a gun pressed against her neck.